So you want some Warzone tips and tricks for how to unlock the Grau 556 in Warzone? Well, look no further. What's up guys, it's Average Owl, making average content for the average viewer, and today I want to talk to you guys about a weapon that has grown to become probably the best weapon in Warzone, and that is of course the Scar. No, I'm just kidding. It's the Grau 556. God, imagine actually using the Scar in Warzone without being mentally damaged. Anyway, if you watch any streamer or YouTuber, you will have undoubtedly come across this weapon before, as it does seem to be holding the top spot in the current meta. So today, I want to achieve two things. First of all, I want to talk about how you can go about unlocking this weapon so you too can start squad wiping like Nadeshot. Or at least trying to. And also, I want to talk through some of my best Warzone tips and tricks for what the best Grau setup might look like. In the background, I'm going to be using some gameplay of one of my higher kill wins. I've used this footage in a video before, but I really do think that it best showcases how much of a beast this weapon is. So let's get on with it. I think before we get too far into this video, I should tell you some things that you might think would work, but will actually, in fact, not work. Starting off with the pre-game lobby in Plunder. You might think that this might be a surefire way to unlock this beast of a gun fast, but unfortunately, it will not count in the pre-game lobby, so don't do it. Also, the training ground against bots doesn't count either, so it's best to avoid that too. So what exactly can you do to unlock the Grau in Warzone? The requirements to unlock this weapon state that you need to get 5 kills in 1 minute 25 times. Now look, I hate to state the obvious, but if you actually have the full game of Modern Warfare, by far the quickest and easiest way to unlock this weapon will be to jump into a few matches of shipment and just keep running around like a headless chicken, shooting and dying until you either unlock the weapon or you turn your brain to mush from the mind-numbing clusterfuck that shipment is. But I digress. Many of you watching this video will be here because you are a free-to-play player for Warzone and you want to know the quickest way to unlock the Grau 556 without using multiplayer. And to you guys, I say, God, I'm sorry man, but you're really in for a grind here. Basically, you have 3 options. The first option will be to decide whether you think dropping 60 quid on a game that you can already play the best part of is worth it. Don't get me wrong, I love Modern Warfare, but the chances are that if you haven't bought it already at this point, you probably aren't going to. So, if you don't want to buy the game, then you're left with trying to do this challenge in Plunder. Now let's do some simple maths. The challenge requires you to kill 5 players in under a minute. In Plunder, the most people that you can have in a squad is 4, so this means that you have to team wipe a whole squad and also kill an extra player all in under a minute. Now, if this seems like it's been deliberately made to be super hard and out of reach for players that don't have the money to drop on the full game, well then you'd be goddamn right. Welcome to capitalism. Anyway, there are a few Warzone tips and tricks that I can give you to at least give yourself a chance at unlocking this for the low price of free. Now the first one is going to be a little cheap and will also require a bit of luck, but it's probably going to be the best way for you to start out. As I'm sure you'll have noticed, not everyone is paying attention right at the beginning of a match. Maybe they've gone to the toilet because the G Fuel goes straight through them, or maybe they're in the process of breaking up with their other half because Warzone is life now. Either way, you want to exploit these issues and wait in the plane until right at the end of the journey and drop with these AFK players for some easy kills. At best, you will get one of the 25 completed for your challenge and you can continue on your merry way. And at absolute worst, you get to kill some poor kid who isn't even watching or paying attention, and for a brief moment, you get to feel like you're powerful and worth something. Anyway, after this, the next option that you have, again, is pretty dirty. In a Plunder match, there are a number of cash deposit sites around the map, and I really hate to say this, but your best bet is going to be going full Bear Grylls up in the place and camping your little heart out. Hopefully, you'll be able to pick up some easy kills on some squads. This has the potential to work quite well for 2 reasons. The first reason is that most squads will be depositing their cash all at once, so you will have 4 targets in close vicinity to one another. And second, because they will either want their cash back or they'll want to get sweet revenge on your camping ass, they will more than likely be coming straight back for you, meaning that if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to get one of them out of the air, providing that it's still within the minute time frame. Now, There is one more option you have, and it's going to be similar to the last one, only the chances are that the people that you encounter are going to be the sweatiest of the sweaty sweats. And that is to go and clear out all of the bunker campers by bunker 11 in the top right of the Warzone map. Look, I know this task seems daunting, and to be honest, it's probably a little bit extreme, and it will take you a long time to complete, but I really do think that it is worth it in the long run, as this is an extremely powerful gun. Of course, you could always wait for another free-to-play multiplayer weekend, which will probably be happening very soon with the release of the new season, so I do think that it is very possible for you to obtain this gun at some point. Failing that, I know I'm biased because I'm a massive Call of Duty fan, but in all seriousness, it might not be such a bad idea to get the base game, as it is a hell of a lot of fun. You can get cool camos for your guns, and the campaign alone is worth giving a playthrough. Okay, so now you've got your hands on the Grau 556 and you're bruised and battered, and you want to know the best class setup for the gun. Well, obviously this is going to be a bit subjective to a certain degree, but I'm going to show you my two personal favourite classes that I use for the Grau. So the first class that I want to highlight is my go-to everyday class, and this is my Grau HDR setup. Now this is the class setup that I'm going to be using for every single Warzone game mode, whether that be solos, trios or quads, and for that reason I like to make my Grau as versatile as possible, as I will need it to be as good as possible at both medium range and close range. For this, the first attachment that I'm going to use is the monolithic suppressor. This is probably the most essential of all the attachments in Warzone, as not only does it increase your damage range, but it also keeps you from flashing up on the enemy radar and giving your whole squad's position away. So I would say that this will always be a must-have attachment. Now next, we have the Tempus 26.4 inch Arc Angel barrel. On paper, this thing says that it has 3 plus sides, but I'm going to argue that it actually has 4. The ones it tells you are recoil control, bullet velocity and damage range. It is this attachment that is going to make your Grau the absolute best at medium range that it can be. Like, seriously, the difference between this barrel and having no barrel attachment is night and day. Now the interesting thing with this is that it also changes the iron sights on the Grau to the point that it gives it the cleanest looking sights I have ever seen in a video game, and this means that you do not have to waste an attachment slot on a sight. And for me, that is massive. The only issue with this attachment is that it will slow down your movement speed and your ADS speed, which means that you will suffer in close quarters combat if you don't do something to rectify it. That is why the next two attachments that I use are the no stock attachment and the XRK Void 2 grip. Both of these will increase your ADS time, and the stock makes your movement speed better, whereas the grip gives you a faster sprint out time, making it a lot less likely for you to get caught with your pants down sprinting around a corner. Although, top Warzone tip, don't sprint around corners. Finally, we have the 60 round mag. For me, this one is a no-brainer because the only downside is that it slows your ADS time by about 1 frame, but it gives you the potential to be able to fully spray down an entire team of enemies at full armor and still have bullets to spare. The other setup that I want to talk you through is the Grau that I use for my more aggressive plays, and for this I will couple it with either an MP7 or an MP5. Now for this setup, most of the attachments are going to be pretty much the same. However, because I use my submachine gun for when I get up close and personal, I don't have to worry too much about the mobility. Because of this, I am able to switch out the no stock attachment and the grip for 2 attachments that can help with my recoil. The base recoil on the Grau can kick quite hard, but it is pretty predictable. For those of you who don't know, the main issue with recoil will be the horizontal recoil, or the side to side bounce. For this, I use the Commando foregrip, and this will mean that the recoil pattern will just go up and slightly to the left, which is super easy to control. But also I couple this with the FTAC R89 rear grip, as this will decrease the vertical recoil too, making this gun an absolute laser even at longer ranges. So there we have it, how to unlock the Grau 556 in Warzone and the best class setup for when you do get it. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you found any value in it at all, a like rating is always very much appreciated. Also, if you want to see more Warzone tips and tricks from this nerdy British dude, make sure you subscribe and turn those notifications on so you don't miss a single video. Those of you who have watched these videos for a while, you'll know that I like to ask a question at the end to see who has made it this far. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down below. What weapon would you say would be the best alternative to the Grau 556 for all those people who can't be bothered with the grind? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.